onboarding project that he has asked me to take on. And I want to tell you all a little bit about what is driving the project itself, and what the project is, and then what we're hoping to get out of it in the end so that we can move the issue that we're finding forward. So, if you turn to the first page, and I'm not going to go through this in detail, but I want to give you a little bit of background as to how this situation came about, and why we decided that it was something that we need to focus on. So, as you may or may not know, a lot of onboarding issues have come to light recently, and as you can see by the chart on the bottom, after the Q1 survey results of 2013, we realized that at various different types of items that people need to start working on day one of their their first day of work, in order for them to be ready to start on day one, the things that they need to be ready to do that, the survey results show a lot of very poor responses. So there were a lot of people in a lot of different locations, and for those of you in London, for example, you can see that 24% of people had access to the required drives that they needed on day one when they started with the firm or when they transferred with the firm. So bottom line is, survey results showed that we had a big problem in onboarding. What we learned pretty quickly was that this was a combination of HR, IT, and CRES. So those three areas together there were issues in all three of those areas which were creating this poor onboarding experience for day one. So that's the background that drove us to decide that we needed to embark on this project. So in terms of the goal of the project, basically, it's very simple. The goal is to ensure that all new hires and all transfers have what they need to be productive on the first day of work.
Mm-hmm.
The scope of the project is really just to focus on lateral hires, temp to perm conversions, and transfers. And we tried to keep it simple because it is a huge issue in, even on the campus side, it's an issue on the contractor side as well, but we decided to hone in on this particular scope so that we had something to focus on in particular, and we'll see what comes out of it and if we need to increase that at some point. In order to determine what the issues were, we had to look at the processes on the HR side. We did a process review on the HR side, we did a process review on the IT side, and a process review on the CRES side. What we decided that was in the near term, we would look at, in the near term, we were going to create a candidate care team, which would look at all of these touch points that happen from the time someone gets an offer and accepts our offer to the point in time that they start at the firm. And that person would, the candidate care team would watch each and every one of those people as they went through the process to ensure that if they looked like they weren't going to have what they needed on day one, that they would in fact push and question and raise the right issues to ensure that they would have what they need on day one. Now, obviously, that is a lot. There's a lot of manual intervention there, which is a lot of resources and a lot of expense. In the medium term, the hope is to create some automation in terms of reporting, so that we can have some level of insight into where people are in the process to get them ready for day one without so much manual intervention. So that would be sort of the near-term goal. And in the long term, there may or may not, depending on what the results are from everything we learn through this process, we may or may not want to implement a bigger firm-wide systems change, process change, create one owner.
That sounds really expensive. I mean, we price that out?
No. We understand that doing something like that, especially at Credit Suisse, which is obviously global and, high volume hires is incredibly expensive. At this stage of this project, we don't really know what that would entail, what it means, if it would even be necessary. But this is just the kickoff of the project and how we're thinking about it, and we'll make a determination down the road of what would be the best long-term solution.
So what do you need from us to help do that?
At this point, we just want you to be aware of the project that we're working on, aware of the issues that we're seeing, and hope to give updates along the way so that there's transparency in what we're finding, what we think it's costing the firm from a productivity standpoint, and then ultimately make recommendations on what the solution would be. So just want to keep you aware, be transparent about the project that's going on in HR, and make sure that everyone is up to speed on what candidate care is and what we're doing and the partnership between IT and CRES and HR.
Got it. You're done. I'm done. Okay, let's give her some feedback. What do you think went well? Phil?
I really like how your body language supports your messages. You move it up, you change it around, you do this when you want to put 2 or 3 points across. I thought that was strong. Yeah, from the positive side, and just to start off, to take a drink and pause when you really need to walk in.
It's a great prop when you need to pause. It really
no,
is.
it is. Yeah.
I take medication that
But
makes
it's
my
that
mouth so
first
dry. I
30
drink so much, so it's
the first 30
hard when you're
seconds.
presenting because it gets even worse, right? Yeah.
But that first 30 seconds, like you said before,
Okay.
I thought I was very confident of her to do that. I'm like, whoa.
What, taking a drink?
Yeah, like to stop like in the first minute
Yeah,
and take
I'm
a
like,
drink. And I'm like,
wow.
oh, all right, just go.
She's controlling her. She wants to drink, taste drink. Yeah. So what else did you like?
Voice modulation, like she, she emphasizes a lot, and she has great gestures, as Phil said. Audience
eye contact.
Connectivity is really great. She looks at everybody. She's, really engaging. I think it's very open. Like it's very relaxed style that makes you feel comfortable, and it really kind of draws you in a bit. So I think I really. That's really something. I think that's a great strength for her because you feel engaged in what she has to say. I did get lost a little bit, and I know the project
Topic very well.
So I did get lost, but I did get lost a little bit in terms of some of the content. And I think the thing for me that kind of stuck out that I kept wanting her to say was, you all are hiring managers. You all are, you know what I mean? So to bring it home to them, like, why do I
Personalize it
care?
to them.
Yeah. Like 23% know what's going on when they start, or 23% of our processes are in place. So what that means for you, it's a delay, it's this, right? So that's that impact statement, because maybe it's research for research purposes. How does that research affect me personally? So that would be and that, well, I'll get to my part in a minute. Things for next time? What do you think, Kim?
So I agree with him. I think she has great body language, great eye contact, exactly what Della said. She doesn't, when she presents, she doesn't formalize it. It's like Debbie. It's like you're having a conversation with Debbie. So she's
authentic. She's who she is, whether she's doing this. Yeah.
I liked the fact that she did bring into like the London aspect, and she looked at Annabelle and like kind of made it relatable in that sense. So she was trying in that sense there.
So for me, so I liked your beginning. You've got your 3 points you want to get across, nice and simple. Interestingly, on your speed, considering how fast you normally talk, you had a very slow, deliberate.
Very
That
slow.
surprised me because
That you clearly thought about how you wanted to do that. So, so I thought that.